Whether it's a baby's first cries and coos, or more complex adult speech patterns, we all have the capacity and need to communicate with others. But some children may take longer to develop the speech and language skills foundation that they need to ensure future academic success. Early problem identification is essential. The earlier we can identify language delays and disorders, the more we can do.
Well, one of the best ways to improve any type of therapy is to measure the effectiveness of that therapy in a natural setting. So if a specific therapy is working, they'll know it. If it's not working, then they can adapt their interventions accordingly.
In some instances, these problems are linked to the poor quality of a child's at-home language environment. For instance, in a recent study published in Archives of Pediatrics and Adolescent Medicine, lead researcher Dr. Dimitri Christakis from the Seattle Children's Research Hospital found that young children and their adult caregivers spoke less when in the presence of audible television. The population-based study is the first of its kind, completed in the home environment.
Audible television is associated with fewer child vocalizations, fewer adult words spoken, and most importantly, fewer child-adult interactions. Specifically, for each hour that a child hears TV, they speak about 20% less and hear about 800 fewer adult words.
Adult talk and conversational turns are key to every child's development. Whether a child is typically developing or may have some type of language disorder, outcomes for both types of children are better when their language environment is rich and a parent is measuring and monitoring their growth.
The period of birth to 3 is a critical developmental stage in young children's lives. The newborn brain more than triples in size during it. If you will, we're born without our minds fully formed, and they're fine-tuned to the environment in which children live. And language is a key element of that environment. Parents are children's favorite learning toy, and the more they hear, the better their language develops, and ultimately, the better their cognitive ability is.
The LENA Foundation develops advanced technology for the early screening, diagnosis, research, and treatment of language delays and disorders in children and adults. The foundation employs a team of scientists and engineers who are skilled in computerized speech and speaker recognition, microelectronics, statistical research, and children's language acquisition and development. They are passionately devoted to helping the foundation enhance language development worldwide.
At the LENA Foundation, we believe that all children, regardless of socioeconomic status, are entitled to an enriched language environment in the early years. So at the foundation, we're committed to creating advanced technology that will provide real-life measurement tools to empower everyone, from pediatricians and researchers to clinicians and parents, so that we can all work together to provide children with this critical foundation.
The LENA system, the world's first automatic language collection and analysis tool, is the Foundation's principal product. The system analyzes every millisecond of the recorded voice of a child and produces core reports as well as segmented data for researchers to conduct additional analysis.
Well, the LENA system is a digital language processor, or DLP, that weighs 2 ounces. It fits into the pocket of clothing that children wear, and it records every word, sound, and noise in the child's environment for up to 16 hours. At the end of the recording day, the parent connects the DLP to the computer, the audio file transfers, and the system software will analyze the data, providing information about the number of conversational turns and adult words. It will also provide information on how much TV the child was exposed to throughout the day.
In addition, export features and a sophisticated data mining tool allow you to customize your analysis down to the millisecond.
Well, the LENA system shows everything: conversational turns, child vocalizations, adult words, even a child's development age based on their expressive and receptive language skills. So it's fundamentally a language pedometer that will tell parents when they need to increase their language input and their level of interaction with their child in order to optimize their child's potential for language and cognitive development.
Conversational turns are essentially a measure of a child's social engagements.
Any therapy that will increase conversational turns is essential in the treatment of children with autism. So when implementing a new strategy, parents and professionals can use conversational turns to know whether or not the treatment is working, essentially leading to a more effective and individualized approach for each child.
The LENA Foundation believes its tools and database of adult-child speech will lead to a new level of research, providing answers to which are the best therapies for children with autism and language-related disorders.
Parents usually suspect autism in their child as early as 18 months of age, but their pediatricians aren't referring those children for diagnosis until 2 years later. The LENA Autism Screen can speed this process up dramatically, as well as the LENA Home System informs those parents about their child's language environment. And when they do get to their diagnosis, the clinicians have a wealth of great data about that child in their home environment to inform their diagnosis.
The LENA software has recently been adjusted to allow researchers in the deaf and hard of hearing areas to measure signal-to-noise ratio and monitor for the first time the amount of words that a child with hearing aids is actually hearing.
My clinical and research focus is on outcome disparities in children with hearing loss. I'm in the midst of developing a parent-directed multimedia intervention called Project Aspire. And the way I'm using the LENA is to ensure educational efficacy of this tool. In addition, as a surgeon and busy mother of 3, I'm doing what we call the nanny study. And what the nanny study is doing is looking at the quality of caregiver language input and seeing ways that we can optimize it.
The LENA Foundation will continue to collaborate with universities, child development and autism researchers and clinicians, and private and public foundations in the U.S. and around the world to advance its technology in order to make a difference in children's lives. The LENA Foundation, because every word counts. To learn more, contact the Foundation today or visit lenafoundation.org or lenababy.com.